Hello everyone, welcome through the City Crit. I'm your Dungeon Master Harda, and joining me is my usual rigmarole of players. Let's start off with the person who least likes vinegar, and then we can work our way up to our most vinegar lover.
I thought you were going to do it the other way around, and then George can come running from the...
We'll give her time, we'll give her time. God, all of you really love vinegar, apparently.
I love vinegar.
I'll go first. Not like I don't, but I feel like, why are you glaring at me? Hi, I'm Mary. I play Ashton Ismar Clerk.
What's our marching order?
You go first because whenever we get fish and chips, or if we make fish and chips, you don't put vinegar on the chips at home, whereas I still put vinegar on the chips at home, as well as salt.
Wait, like you get salt and vinegar on them at the fish and chip place and then you put more on? Or like you don't put anything on and then...
If we make them at home, Mary won't put vinegar on her chips.
Oh, that's freak behavior. Hate that.
DM just
I have to be in the mood for it. I'm sorry.
So you have to be in the mood for vinegar. Fish and chips always gets vinegar. Doesn't matter what mood you're in. Always.
Chips in general always have vinegar on. Like...
not always.
No, always.
My barbecue chips.
Always. Look, for an idea, this is how much balsamic I just put on this salad. I like vinegar, okay?
I do enjoy vinegar, but maybe not as much as the others. Hello, I am Ryan. I play Cyrus Revmar, the Asmar Barbarian.
He says that, yeah, he just had to argue me.
What is our marching order? How much we like vinegar? What is this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, I'll go next, even though I definitely think I should have gone before Ryan, because he was very passionate about Mary not liking vinegar. Hi, I'm Anthony, I play Burrow Stout, who's the Sata Rogue Fighter, and I'll pass it on to our next passionate vinegar lover.
I would quite happily argue the place with George, because I don't know if any of you remember spoons with me in uni, where I literally had a layer of vinegar in the bottom of all the bowls of
You know what, I'll go next. I will let Will be the vinegar lover. Also, I like that this introduction thing sometimes reveals opinions that you didn't know you had strong feelings about. Like, you're like, I don't care, and then people start arguing other points, and you're like, wait, no, you're wrong, actually. Hi, I'm George, I play Atlas Moreau, the Owlin Druid, and I will pass it on.
I'm Will, and I play Pogier, the Jurgar Ranger. I think he needs to start loving vinegar. Can we do some trades in vinegar?
Really...
It's the only spice that you're allowed.
No, I can have every spice.
Vinegar's not a spice, you savage son of a bitch. It's a seasoning.
It's as close as he can get, okay?
You can have pepper and salt.
I just appreciate that Italians were like, you can eat bread, oil, and vinegar as a meal, and I was like, I'm right on board with that. Love that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Italy.
If we went to spoons during uni, if there wasn't we're talking a good about centimeter of balsamic vinegar in the bottom of those chips, or vinegar in the chips, it was
with
bad.
Any sauce, barbecue, gravy, curry, I need it to be almost soup.
A barbecue tomato, they are all vinegar-based sauces.
Gravy.
Gravy's not a vinegar-based sauce.
I don't like it.
It's salty.
Ryan,
I don't like it when people put too much sauce on chips, because it's like... It also goes soggy. You lose the structural integrity of the chip.
I go to a
scoop it up with a spoon.
I go to a chippy and go, give me extra salt and vinegar, and they go, look at me and just go, how much? When do you want to say stuff? Like, you know you're meant to say stuff.
Did you know the vinegar and salt and chip shops can't legally be called vinegar?
It's like a form
called
of acid, isn't it?
Malt dressing.
Yeah.
Vinegar is up.
It definitely depends what chip you go to. You just go to cheap chippies, because I went to chippies and used Sarsons.
Yeah.
Will goes to a chippy and then he's like, I'll tell you when, and they're just pouring vinegar on, and they go to reach for a second bottle and start crying, and he's just like, more!
That's why chippies started using the malt flavoring. They were like, we can't afford to stay in business with this vinegar man around.
They've not even got to they're not even crying because of the amount of in it. They're crying because it's evaporating into their eyes.
Please, sir, I can't see anymore. Keep going.
They're just putting in Will's entire order into the bucket of vinegar and just soaking it.
That sounds like a good day.
Newspaper wrapping and all.
They just like empty a deep fat fryer, fill it with vinegar, put the whole thing in.
I always ask for extra because I believe that vinegar evaporates by the time I get back to sit down and eat it. So it's good to have.
Did you know
somebody
that
else
apple
does it.
cider vinegar shots, you're not meant to swallow them? You're meant to spit them out again? I did not know that either. My friend was like, do you want one? And I swallowed it, and she was like, you're not supposed to swallow those. That's gonna fuck your stomach up. It's like,
You're meant to
then
swallow
what's
them.
the point of doing the shot?
You're meant to swallow them.
Yeah, she told me you weren't.
No,
What's
they're
the,
meant
what's
to
the
be good
purpose
for
of
your
apple
body.
cider
Good for
vinegar
burning
shots?
fat.
Good for digestion.
Okay.
Who wants to remind us what happened last
I
time?
don't know. If someone offers me a shot, I
Prison!
just do it.
Prison.
Prison.
We
Prison.
went to jail,
family
but on
reunion.
purpose this time, kind of. And then Daisy's midget dad got us out.
Some of us.
Can you say that? That might be not peace.
Daisy's dad, or rather, he was referred to as a short king. He got you out of prison, some of you.
Daisy's short king dad got some of us out of prison, except all the ones who do war crimes and Astra.
Fair. Valid.
That's fair.
This will be the second time you've been in like a holding cell, and you're the person that should definitely never be in a holding cell.
She's in there by association at this point. Like, she...
Basically, Astra is like, I'll go with these guys so they don't do war crimes, and instead just ends up doing war crimes with us.
I'm an accessory to violence.
An accessory to
Hi.
terrorism.
My name's Violence, and her name's Terrorism.
I said terrorism a whole bunch when I wasn't supposed to say terrorism. It was like one of those things where it's like, don't think of an elephant, you know?
Yeah. Eros also went and found his mum.
Yeah.
He did indeed.
Trying to shoot him.
Yep, she did threaten to shoot him. Meaning she didn't know it was actually
fine.
him. That's
Made
fair.
a call to Grandpappy.
One's in the family.
Grandpappy is like, I'll be right there. I'll deal with you three later, and your little cat too.
I do like that, so far both, like, long-awaited mum reunions has started
Yeah.
with the mum trying to kill them.
trying to kill their son specifically. She didn't try to kill Astra, it's just the son. Just like,
It runs in the family, I guess.
In fact, I would even go as far as Atlas's mother was also borderline killing someone, so...
I think she would have killed the rest of the party first.
Yeah.
If you died.
Is your mum still kicking about Volgear, father?
Let me review my.
Don't you know dwarves just sprout up from holes in the ground?
True. Okay. So we will pick up with our incarcerated group, I think.
Music's very jaunty.
Yeah.
I'll put on something more depressing. Hang on.
Oh, I like this. You want to music?
It's just on a shuffle playlist. There we go. Okay.
so, we just waiting again?
Yeah, he didn't stick around for very long. I thought he'd
I
be
thought,
here to like gloat or
yeah, he seems more smug with
long
something.
time no see or something.
something
like that.
distracted
he just
him.
kind of dipped.
Well, I'm gonna go based off the fact he looked at his hollow strap and immediately scarpered that Barros is doing something.
That's a fair assumption. So are we just chilling here? Do we wait for the others to get us out? Do we get ourselves out? Or do we just stay?
I feel like we give it an hour, and if nothing's happened after an hour, we start escaping.
Okay, but if we see a pile of guards running out of here to deal with
Then we start
Presumably-
escaping.
presumably a Barros, then we start escaping.
Okay. You wait a little bit after Mason stepped away from the door, before he could even have a chance to
They
talk
could
to
have
you
given
all.
us some cards to play Go Fish with.
They did not do that.
There's not enough threes in the world for Sunshine.
About 20 minutes go by, and then eventually you see the door, you hear the sound of it unlocking, and standing in the door you see a familiar form. You see the short form of Admiral Hopkins standing there. His hat is placed back on his head. The first thing he does as soon as he enters the room is he gives each of you a long, hard stare. But he skips over Fizz and Cyrus pretty quickly and is focusing more on Atlas and Astra, sizing them up.
I should probably listen very sheepish.
Staring contest with an owl. That's a brave man.
He,
Eyes.
like any single father dealing with a daughter, looks very confused about anything that might be going on revolving around his daughter. And literally, like, after a long, hard stare and really not getting anywhere, he speaks up. Well, the good news, I'm trying to find his fucking voice again. He was like from the Bronx. He was here. He was from the Bronx.
He wasn't from the Bronx when he started.
No, he wasn't. He went into the Bronx,
But
whatever.
he became Bronx pretty
Yeah.
fast.
He was kind of like upstate New York, and then he fell down into the Bronx at some point whenever he needed to take his medication, which I guess is just a character trait now that we decided about him. That's something that we decided together.
Yes, his cano motions.
His cat emotions, yeah. All right, you four. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is...
if all the gravity's been reversed everywhere else, we don't know anything about that.
No, that's not happened. I'm pretty sure after the last time they probably put in some more security measures, seeing as we know what you've been up to. Any which ways, okay. Right. Good news is, some people would like to have a discussion with you about something. Bad news is, we found a couple of bodies on your ship.
They're meant to be there. We brought them as evidence.
That doesn't... That really...
The ones in the freezer, right? Because if there were bodies in the vents, then we need to have a discussion
Oh, look at
with
me!
someone else.
There's no bodies in the vents. There's nothing in there. Not anymore. None of the explosives are gone. There's nothing there.
There should have been 3 bodies that we took, right?
2.
2
But
bodies.
2 bodies and a half a brain.
That's kind of a body.
Yeah, we found 2 bodies and a bit of gunk. But things look a bit weird.
Do not throw those out. Those are important evidentiary documents.
That's why they're in the fridge. The freezer. We needed to keep them pristine.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Look. So here's what I'm thinking. You've been asked to go over to the. You guys have been here before, right? You understand?
Briefly.
Yeah, we've been here.
Okay. Well, the RA district, the Fey representative of the council, has requested a little meeting with you all at the back of this strange discovery. You can, of course, decline, but if you want to go, I can organize the transport and we can take you over there.
I think that's probably a good place to start, especially since it was the Fey people that were affected first. Well,
Didn't we speak to someone over there who turned out to be like someone's sister?
Was she the space elf sister?
No, sister of the captain's
Starling
first
Serenade?
mate.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Star One Serenade.
Name escapes me, but she was hot.
I'm afraid I don't know who you're referring to.
I can't hang on because you would have fucking taken Atlas's book from her.
We've taken your book from you. I'm sorry about that. Look, so you're interested in coming? Is that something you like? It's going to take me a half minute to organize transport. I can't take it right away.
Yes. We'll
Okay.
speak to whoever wants to speak to us. That's what we're here for.
That's
we didn't
fine.
come here just to get thrown in jail for funsies.
Well, you might
That'd
have
be much appreciated.
not wanted to come, so I just figured I'd have to check.
To be
Okay,
fair,
that's
you were
fine.
Very happy to get thrown in earlier.
Moonshadow.
Not earlier.
That was her name. Lyriel Moonshadow.
Oh yeah, the woman that Vulgar stalked for a while.
Yeah, that one.
I had midnight in my head, but I was like, no, that's not it.
Moon Knight. What's he doing here?
Steven or Mark?
What's the one from High Rollers?
His sister. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know I finished my salad? There isn't any more salad.
While transport is being organized for the rest of the group, meanwhile, back down on the embassy level, Beros, you and your mother are waiting for someone to arrive. Is there anything you want to do in preparation at all?
I will. I think that probably the rifle is overkill, but I will take out a laser pistol, and prep it, and just have it on me.
Just in case.
Probably leaning on my lap. And you know, I've never met Grandad properly.
You
I've had a
mentioned that
couple of
you'd
interactions.
spent had some interactions with him, but what I was going to say, I don't think that your father would have exactly been reaching out to him for anything.
No, when you left, I came after you. Probably only 2 months after. I must have been 14. Some would say falling into with the wrong crowd. But in my opinion, and young me, I would do anything to find you. Join the crew of pirates. That's how I ended up interacting with grandfather so often.
Suppose that would make sense. Fair enough. You must have had quite the life.
It's been quite the adventure. But you'll be happy to know that that life is mostly behind me now. I'm a captain of my own ship.
A pirate ship?
We're more mercenary work, adventurous.
Much more respectful.
I try to leave the world a better place than I did. I realize that my past has not always been the greatest, and I've done some bad things. I will not deny that, and if grandfather wants to use them against me, then I'll understand. But I'm trying to do good, and we are trying to save people.
Well, let's hope that you can keep doing good things that you've set out to do. That would be nice. You hear the sound of her holoshop bleeping, and she touches it. Yes, okay, did my dad send them? I'm fine right now. They can stay in the lobby. I don't really need anyone else up here right now. I'm just waiting for my dad to come. You can pass on the message. Thanks. Your grandfather felt the need to send a small group of OSEC to come make sure I'm okay.
I expect as much.
Dorman's pretty good. He will try to keep them at bay, but they will likely shove past and try to make them up one way or the other. But at least you've definitely got his attention. Would you like anything while we're waiting? Water? I've spent so much of my life now not being a mother, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do.
Have you got any biscuits?
Yeah, I have biscuits. And she goes over to a cupboard and opens a cupboard, and it's just like big boxes of biscuits.
Can you imagine if she was like, no, I hate biscuits. He's like, you're not my mother, I have to leave.
What do you want? I've got oatmeal raisin. I've got nice biscuits, shortbreads.
Just bring one of each box.
I was
Sure.
going to say one of each cupboard.
She just brings she brings the whole cookie box over to you and puts them in front of you.
Yes, I've been trying to cut out the booze, so I've replaced it with biscuits. It's working, but I put on a few goat pounds, if you know what I mean.
I think you look fine. A very handsome young man.
Every goat pound is 10 human pounds.
Meanwhile, across the street, hiding, watching, we have, I believe, Volgir and Durl, the dwarven pair.
That's so creepy, guys. What the fuck?
I'm
Oh,
curious.
you're back to his stalkerish ways.
He always goes
curious.
back.
Did we see a small army or did we see a small...
So yeah, probably around this point, just before they arrive, you see that there's a group of about 8 individuals who arrive. It's a very eclectic mix of OSEC security. You see there are a couple of more standard-looking humanoids, like humans, elves. There's at least one Gith, one of these big hippo men with them. At least one Thrykreen. There's a dwarf, a fire ganassi, and a couple of goblins as well. Kind of alongside, all have arrived, and they kind of go in. You see they all stand waiting at the desk. Some of them got an outside security. Some do a little perimeter sweep of the building and just make sure there's no watching fire escapes, things like that. Just kind of begin to lock the place down.
I'd probably give Veros a message, just letting him know that a group's turned up and have entered the lobby.
Sure. Probably around the same time your mum was explaining to you the situation, or maybe even whenever she was on the phone call, you were also getting the information that kind of passed up to you from Volgir.
Yeah, I'll just reply to Volga. I'm aware of their presence. Like I said, if they drag me out in cuffs, then you do your thing.
Cool. Bonk him on the head.
Until then, chill out.
Oh, okay, I'll just have another drink. Volgir will probably go back to the ledger, start reading the ledger, and then looking up at the sky if he can see any big ships. Wonder how much that would be.
Not in
I want to buy that one.
not on this level because you're in the eye, so it's all sealed up. The only thing flying around here are small shuttles and things that are kind of used to go between far stretches of the eye. But they're kind of restricted to the level they're on. They can go out the onto that outer ring and actually travel on the outside and go even over towards the actual districts themselves. But yeah, there wouldn't be any large ships here. There just wouldn't. The door accesses would not be big enough, unfortunately.
Is it what's around the area? Is it just a load of shops?
You're in the embassy district right now, so that is kind of there's a couple of embassies to different alliances, the amalgamate. So there's the Orc Embassy, the Prudente Alliance, the Draconid Concordat, the Calum Chivaleric. There's also a grand kind of atrium that you know is somewhere near the center, which is kind of a meeting area generally. There's lots of diplomatic quarters here, gardens. There's a big exhibit hall, which kind of showcases artifacts and culture from races that aren't actually really represented by the amalgamate at the moment. Kind of a big museum space, and also the Universal Translator Center, which is this big kind of scientific facility that allows communication between races who don't share a language.
Yeah. So what are the people around me doing? Are they just kind of talking and walking, basically?
Sorry, again?
Are the people around me just kind of walking and talking then?
Yeah, there's no one's, maybe a few people are a bit curious about the guard presence, but nothing is really strange or startling. People are just moving around. Mainly people you'd expect to see here, mostly amalgamate kind of races. However, you do see the odd, gnome, coming out of the Prudente Alliance embassy. You really see many dragon folk or lizard folk.
I wonder why.
You do see that there is probably some graffiti on the Draconic Concordat embassy of murderous scum or something, which is being kind of half painted off, but the white paint on top with the black graffiti. It's kind of it looks like it needs to give a couple more coats to actually have hidden it fully.
I'll probably, if there's like a cafe or something, we'll just be sat at the cafe then.
Sure. Yeah, you and
Either
Durov kind of go
chatting or
over,
eating.
like, yeah, just like get some drinks, just chill out, just keep the eye from afar.
Play some games.
Yeah.
Play a bit Go Fish.
Right.
Since
Yeah.
you guys can't play Go Fish, I'll play the Go Fish for you with the.
Alrighty.
Make a change playing with someone that can actually count more than 3.
The 3 girls are off doing God knows what.
Literally.
Yeah, Soprano does know what.
That god does know.
Eventually, those of you back up in the cell, Admiral Hopkins returns, this time with a small little, like, escort with him. And he's like, all right, you can come with me. We're going to go back out to the OSEC dock here. I've got a shuttle waiting. We're going to take it straight over to the RA district. We're going to go straight to the Fey embassy. You guys are going to have a quick little meeting. We're going to try to, let the representative know, we'll have a plan for themselves. You're going to be meeting with Maestro Pantheon Melodius. He's a satyr. Nice guy. Big into the Sealy Fae. Alright, let's go.
Yep, follow him.
Yep.
God, we could not have been left with a less charismatic bunch of people. Am I the most charismatic out of us?
Probably.
You're definitely the best at
I
lying.
trip over my own tongue.
But
Okay.
I think we need to be persuasive here.
Well, I'm definitely better at lying than at being persuasive, but
Don't you two have like abilities to enhance people?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
a Fae is going to know that I'm doing that, and I don't think it's very convincing when you are casting spells to make you more convincing.
But if you tell them that you're not a great public speaker and you just need a boost to make yourself a better public speaker, surely they would understand that. Or even ask them, may I enhance my ability because I am a poor public speaker.
I'm
might
not doing
look
that.
at
That's
you.
embarrassing.
They might look at it favorably. You don't know.
Let's just lay it out for them.
I
Give
mean,
them
we
the
have
evidence,
corpses.
hopefully
How
it speaks
persuasive
for
do we have to
itself.
be, you know?
Astra and Atlas, your passive perception, you both feel someone looking at you from behind as you're kind of being led by the guards in front, and Hopkins is somewhere behind you. As you're kind of
Swivel
like,
my head completely.
yep, you see he's like looking at you, then looking back towards Astra.
As Atlas like
May I
strolls her
help
head,
you?
Cyrus just like takes her arm to like navigate her through the hallway
Yeah.
because she's not looking where she's going.
I'm just keeping an eye. You're my charges right now.
We're not like actual terrorists, you know.
You are actually. You have real criminal records. Those are real things that exist.
Yes, but we did it for really good reasons. So, it's not really terrorism.
That's
The first time. And the second time. And then the third time, a dragon asked us, so that doesn't even count.
again. I'm just.
That was mercenary work. That wasn't terrorism. That was we were fulfilling a contract on a dragon planet.
You know what? It's fine. The way she keeps talking, she's kind of answering questions for me without me even needing to ask them, so it's all good. Okay, shuttle's just up here on the right, and you see he directs you towards the shuttle. Similar kind of style to the one you have have on the actual Chimera itself. It's not very big, but big enough for a. There's a pilot already in there, like waiting to go. The guards kind of get in first, escort you on. He gets in, the final guard as well with him. So there's there's probably about an equal number of you and guards. However, all the guards are armed, as is the pilot, as is Admiral Hopkins. And the shuttle begins flying out of the OSEC dock, and it begins to travel along the central ring of the eye, heading over towards the RA district.
Where are the bodies?
They're not here.
Okay.
Looks like just you guys being taken over to have a discussion.
You didn't throw our bodies away, right?
No, we left them where they were. They're definitely compelling evidence for, either a murder or whatever it is you guys are going to claim it is, so...
We're about to blow your fucking mind.
But not the same way that their minds got blown.
Oh. Okay. You.
It's just laying more evidence to what happened with your ship.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I'm kind of giving you guys time of day. That and a couple other reasons. The ship.
We kind of thought you'd be squid, to be honest.
Ah.
Yeah, or dead.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same thing.
Everyone that we knew on Camnor is either dead or squid, unless they escaped with us. And from what we heard, you did not escape. How did you survive, by the way?
Yeah, you kind of just dropped off the planet of the... Oh, no.
What? Cyrus leans in.
Atlas will switch to Celestial and be like, hey, remember what Saparna said about how intellect devourers can be in a person's brain and you wouldn't even know?
Gosh.
Are you suggesting that Daisy's dad might be intellectually devoured or possibly squid in process?
I was going with intellectually devoured, but, I mean, it is kind of suspicious how he didn't escape and he sat right there and...
Yeah, but he has all his... He still seems very intelligent.
Why did you escape?
Intellect devour...
Oh, sorry, I zoned out there talking in a language I didn't understand. It's quite rude. How did I escape? Well, my ship wasn't destroyed immediately. We took a lot of damage, but we were able to launch our escape pods. We were able to get a little bit far away, put out a stress beacon. We got picked up by another ship a couple of days later. We ordered them to go back towards the satellite, but by the time we got back there, it was kind of like nothing had happened, to be honest.
You didn't interact with any tadpole-like things or any of your crew tadpoles?
I mean, like, apart from the fact that the big ships looked like kind of squiddy, no, nothing tadpole-y or anything of that nature, no. We were being shelled, you know, from in the Expanse itself. We weren't exactly in a close quarters melee with these things or whatever the fuck's driving them.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I'm not really one for close quarters. Maybe when I was younger, but nowadays I tend to, you know, I got other people I can tell to do things. They tend to do it better than I can.
Fair.
All right, looks like we're nearly here.
Celestial, Cyrus will turn to Astra like, you don't have to agree with everything he says just because he's your girlfriend's dad.
I mean, if I could be on the back foot and not have to go near the squids, I would.
I mean, no, that logic is completely sound, but I'm just, you don't have to impress him.
I don't want to get arrested again.
You know, that's come beside the point.
I don't think you
do not
can get
have to-
arrested again. We're already arrested. You can't get double arrested, right?
Well, you can get incarcerated. We're
Also-
currently arrested, but we could get incarcerated.
Also, Cyrus, it's called this thing big, nice.
You said
don't have
that
to
too
be-
late.
You don't have to be overly agreeable to be nice. You can be nice.
Cyrus?
still.
Have you met me?
Yes, and I'm trying to impart some.
Cyrus, I don't
some
think you're the person to give
advice.
advice give advice about how to be nice.
No, but I can be.
Like, it's been a
personal
while,
advice
but,
on
like,
do your own thing.
you know, when
stand
I was
on your own 2
reminiscing
feet.
about the good old days, I did not say my friend Cyrus was really nice.
What good old days? These are the good old days.
Yes, but they weren't the good old days like 5 years ago, were
They're the
they?
good new days, technically. Anyways, we need to go
We
talk to
haven't
this
known each other for 5 years
big
ago.
ambassador, right? We don't want to keep them waiting and be...
Yeah, because you're not
Wait.
paying attention. I got blipped out of existence and then I lived for 7 years at the start
Yes,
of
I know,
time.
You lived for 7 years, okay? We've heard it like 4 times.
I
since
don't think
got
you're
back.
realizing how insane this is for me.
They argue a lot. It's fine just to ignore them.
It's okay. I grew up in a household of all girls. I'm very good at toning up, bitching, and whining.
Everyone I knew for the past 7 years is dead. You're aware of this. Every single person I have interacted with for 7 years in a single second died.
Now you know how Duro feels. He's dealing with it pretty well. That we know.
I think he just suppresses a lot of issues, to be honest. No, he
You need a
doesn't really
hobby.
talk
That's
to
what
anyone.
we need to get you a hobby, Atlas.
My hobby is saving the fucking world right now.
Speaking of, Ambassador,
We are at the embassy. If you guys want to go, you can hash this out beforehand. If you think it's gonna, impact your ability to.
No, let's do it. Let's
That's
go.
fine.
it'll be here after, don't worry.
Okay. All right, let's go. It's straight in the building. No funny business. Let's move. He opens the door, steps out, has a little quick look around himself. Okay, let's go. He begins to walk you across the courtyard. If you recall, on the RA district, you've been in this area before. There are 3 embassies here. There is one which is the Fey embassy, one which is the kind of like elf embassy, and another one which is the goblinoid embassy as well. They basically, one of them at a time, represents the actual district and people of the Fae and the elves all together, which the last time you were here, I believe was High Envoy Lariana Moonshadow, the Elven representative. However, your appointment is not with the Elven representative. Your appointment is not with someone who currently holds a seat on the actual council itself. It is with the Fae representative. You're led to one of these side buildings, up through a grand stairwell, and into a lobby, and more or less led straight into a meeting room very, very quickly. You're kind of hurried along a little bit. No one really wants you to linger around or, any chance for any funny business to happen. So unless there's anything you guys would like to do while you're being transported, otherwise you're going to be brought into a little meeting room and set up to wait.
I like to think that we're just still arguing in Celestial the full way there.
Sure.
Hushed.
You sit down. There is a jug of water on the table, several little glasses around it, all kind of turned upside down. There is a small little fruit bowl with grapes and oranges, apples, a couple of bananas, all kind of there in the center for you to help yourself. The guards initially take positions on the doors, of which there are two doors and 3 guards, not including Admiral Hopkins. One guard waits back outside in the lobby, and the other guard just watch the doors. Hopkins himself goes over and you see he grabs a couple of pillows off his little sofa, puts them on a chair at the table, and then props himself up so he can sit at a decent height on the seat. After a little bit of slightly embarrassing clamber up onto the chair, but he doesn't seem to let it bother him. And he it's so hard to take this very cute little bunny man seriously, but he clearly holds quite an impressive amount of power despite his stature.
Little baby man.
You see that he pauses for a second, checks his holo strap, and after maybe about 5 minutes of waiting around, eventually the door you guys did not come through opens, and stepping in, you see one of the most attractive men you've ever seen in your life step through the door. He has beautiful, flowing blonde hair that falls about his shoulders. He has bright blue eyes. His horns curl perfectly symmetrically, coil out, almost like conches. He wears a flowing, unbuttoned shirt, which is only buttoned with the last 2 buttons just above his navel. It is done in this beautiful, floral patterning. He wears this large flowing pair of parachute trouser pants, they're tied on the ankles, but you can see poking out from underneath them the blonde, almost white fur of his goat lower half as he steps into the room. Big warm smile, lovely chiseled jaw, strong nose, really just just a very charming looking individual.
I want to
through and
know
through.
who everyone immediately thought of when you just said the most attractive man you've ever seen, because I like to think that everyone immediately thought of someone.
Do you want us to say who?
No, I just think it's funny that all of us immediately would have thought of someone, despite not having any further. Like, he's like, the most attractive man you've ever seen. It's like, got it. Mine is Henry Cavill.
So Henry Cavill, the satyr, but blonde with blue eyes.
No, he changed as you described him to, like, you know when you see those, like, cheesy romance novels in airports? And there's always, like, a shirtless man with flowing hair on the front?
Sure.
That's what my brain then made.
Okay. He moves up. He sits himself down at the head of the table. He leans forward, like, interlocks his fingers, has, like, a little smirk and goes, My, oh, my. You are all quite the lookers, if you don't mind me saying. You look like you've been through hell and back again. Was that necessary, Admiral? Did it need to be under arrest? It's like, yeah, of course they do. You heard what I said over the holostrap, right? These guys are like, they flipped the gravity off the last time they were here. It was a bit of fun.
Technically, that wasn't us.
Yeah, technically, that was the people you let go, so...
See, exactly. These people, they are, right now, innocent until proven guilty as far as I'm concerned. And I am very much interested in exactly what the fuck they had aboard their little ship of theirs. I am Maestro Melodius. I am call me a satyr, sure, if that makes it easier for you to comprehend. Call me an arch satyr, if that makes it slightly more easier. And if those of you who are a bit in the know, call me an archfey. And we will hopefully find a little pocket of understanding here.
I'm going to be honest with you here. If you're worried about things that cannot be comprehended, you're the one who's going to be starting off on a back foot.
Pish posh. I've been around for quite a while. I'm sure we can find something here that is easy to exactly make sense. The reports given to me is that there are 2 Fey bodies aboard your ship. However, it looks like they've been... maybe some kind of magical experiment gone wrong. Did you guys do that? Are you crazy, like biological terrorists, like the Admiral here that has in your file, or
Biological terrorist? That feels unfair. No, I mean
we're smarter than we are.
Technically, we sort of killed them, but they were already horribly transformed monstrosities that could not be saved. So, you know.
They were undergoing a mutation.
Yeah.
okay?
To become squid people by squid people. That drives squiddy ships, but did we get a name?
There is a ancient
Reus that has
This
resurfaced.
This is such a long history to give.
Yeah, it's their
So essentially,
really-
before there was anything in the world, there was universe, there was chaos.
Pause.
Then
It sounds like you all have lots of raw information here. I don't hold a current seat on the council. My elf counterpart currently holds a seat representing our district. I would love to hold that seat. I quite literally have nothing to lose right now because I don't have a seat to lose. So let's bottle up this little interesting tale of yours. At the very least, it will give me a afternoon's entertainment in the council chambers to watch everyone either unpick or try to understand or simply just accuse you of being crazy. And we can see about getting you a little audience with the Amalgamate's main council. Does that sound fun?
Would be appreciated.
let's do it.
Will we be allowed to present the bodies? Because they're kind of...
They are
Yeah,
quite vital to our evidence.
You see he like looks to Hopkins.
We also kind of need the rest of our group, or at very least that changeling.
You see he looks to Daz's dad, who looks, he sighs and goes, yeah, I can probably round up the rest of the troop. It's not like they would have got that far, besides all the holostraps being actively tracked anyway. Looks like right now, pretty much all of them are down in the embassy level, so we can probably send some people out to wrangle them up pretty quickly. As for the bodies, yeah, we can bring the bodies in if you think they're actually going to have relevance. But I would, I'd recommend you we cover them. Well, I'll get them body bagged or something. I feel like just having them
They're currently wrapped up in cloth and stuff. There's also a jar with a wormy tadpole thing. It's dead. But
yeah, we need that too.
As well.
Okay. Yeah, we can probably get. Is there anything else you think you might need? I could maybe get the. Whenever we get back, we'll have to go back to the OSEC dock anyway to wrangle up the rest of your crew, and then we'll all head down together. If this meeting is actually happening, I'll need to wait for a time. This probably won't be an instantaneous thing. But we could even take one or two of you onto the ship with an escort, and you can have a little hunt around and get whatever you think you might need to present this case, huh?
Let's do that.
Sounds good. I might need a forklift.
I mean,
we don't need to bring the whole freezer.
I meant the pod.
Oh yeah, it did not make a good sound when you were dragging it before.
It's very heavy.
We can bring a few mechanical systems, magical systems close, give you a bit of aid in lifting if there's any heavy lifting to go, any heavy cargo. Might be difficult to get that down into the actual main amalgamate level, but we can give it a good go.
Even if we could take a scan of it on our holostraps, and if the council requests to see the pod in person, we can bring them to the ship or figure out something.
Maybe we don't have a fairy and satyr corpse to compare to the Illithid ones. I'm not suggesting you procure those. That feels messed
I
up,
will be in the room. I'm a satyr. If you feel like having a fairy alongside me would help, I can.
Having a comparison would help, but I mean, you have to understand what we have brought back. We interrupted the process of what they would become.
That wasn't fully complete.
Not cooked.
There was more transformation to occur, and to procure a living or dead specimen of the final result is
difficult.
Very difficult.
We managed to kill one of them with all of us, and Astra nearly died 6 times.
Well,
and we don't have any evidence of the slot, but they're just gonna have to believe us on that one.
I think one ancient race.
One ancient race war at a time.
Yes.
Cool.
Regardless, I don't know what you know about the Archfey, but we draw power from Lush.
I bet you felt something weird the past couple of days.
I did, which is kind of the only reason that I'm entertaining this crazy idea.
Do you feel less weird now?
No, I think that whatever I draw my power from a certain forested region, which might be no longer too foresty by the feel of my ability. Call it that.
Well, if we hadn't prevented it, it would have been much worse.
Well, let's hope that's the truth. I'm willing to give you the time of day. I will do my best to get to convince Moonshadow to listen to me and to permit me to bring you along. If she doesn't, I will pester every other representative until they accept my case of a counterance to basically elicit a vote with the council of which new representative should represent the district here, which the inner council will vote on. But we are able to present cases. I can bring you thus in as my witnesses of my character, yada yada yada, all that bullshit, and then just let you go for it. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. It's not again, I have nothing to lose unless they prevent me from running again, I suppose. But that would be odd.
If you require a little push for Moonshadow, Tilm and Kemnor were the first time we encountered these things, and we tried to get to talk to her before things went.
We did talk to her, remember? She was going to go check it out, and then we got arrested, so I don't know how that went.
Yeah, so we never actually found out whether or not she found anything, but she has heard from us before. This time we have evidence, not just tall tales.
Well, I will pass that on to her and see how she retorts. So maybe this will be a bit easier than we thought. Perfect. I have no more use for you at the moment. I think I've heard enough. Unless there's anything you need from me before I dismiss you.
We have to go back to jail.
That would be a question for the Admiral there.
Just out of curiosity, if you were to call sanctuary for one of your Fey folk, would that override C-Sect? Could they touch him or her?
I'm afraid I don't know what C-Sect is. That sounds like...
C-Sect. That's...
OSEC. OSEC. OSEC,
I slipped there. Slipped franchises.
Slipped all the way in the Mass Effect. I can offer some protections. However, if they believe that an individual in my care is a threat to the Phalos or Amalgamate at a wider point, they may allow me to deport them instead of just imprisoning them here, depending on the severity of the suspected crime or whatever that might be. Generally, I can have some protection, but if they have a good reason, unfortunately, I have to go with them. They're especially at the moment, if we're at a war, security does have a slightly higher stake than diplomacy right now.
Cyrus will just lean into Atlas and be like, do we have any way of contacting the Draconids? Do we know if their war is resolved yet? Because that might also
I'm gonna let you know. I watched 3 days of that debate, and I think that war's gonna be going on a while.
Well, hey, a debate's better than a war, I suppose. Put a stall in it. We could claim we stalled it.
I had to take dinner breaks.
It's a long debate.
So yeah, you guys are escorted back up to the shuttle, back up to OSEC, back up to your holding cell. Eros.
Can we at least have some cards to play Go Fit?
And maybe a biscuit or two.
One of you can make a persuasion check towards Hopkins if you want.
I'm minus figures, so it might as well be.
Sure. Seven.
I'll see what I can scramble up, but no promises. Not like we have biscuits and cards just laying around here for anyone to use.
We walked past the break room on our way up. They were sat eating biscuits and playing cards. We're totally not getting biscuits or cards.
Try.
Volgir, you and Durov in a coffee shop. You eventually see a human man, kind of probably in his early 60s. You'd place him, a little bit of salt and peppering on the hair, grand, Phalos OSEC military uniform donned, looking very prim and proper. And he comes down from the direction of the central lift, heading towards the building that Barrel's currently in. He steps inside, and you see he wastes no time going straight for the lift and stepping inside.
I will message Barrels again. Some old dude's coming your way.
Noted.
And there will be a follow-up message of, and I don't mean my old, I mean old. Then I'll just kind of keep an eye.
Yep.
Just go back to playing cards with.
Hey, you and Durov just having a lovely time. Sparks is being your dealer right now. You're playing blackjack. And eventually you see the lift. Ding, 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 ding. The doors slide open, and you see stepping into the room your father. You see he has a ceremonial kind of like saber on his left hip, and he has a large laser pistol on his right. He steps into the room, hand on each handle as he kind of comes in, kind of like scanning around, and he locks eyes with you.
Hello, grandfather. It's been a while.
I don't think that you have any reason to call me that. We have no connection beyond long forgotten and past, if it is even to be believed, blood connection.
Oh, it's definitely there. I should know. I got my veracity from you. And my stubbornness.
Well,
And
I do wonder why exactly you felt it wise to alert me of your presence.
10 years? You've been on my heels, chasing me away from the thing you knew I wanted most. And I just walk in and surrender one day. You must be curious why.
Forgive me, but I have little or no interest in what the cockroach gets up under a rock. Your mother here was taken advantage of by your father. She was lost, scared, and we came and rescued her from them. From that sick place.
It must be a sad life that you live, if that's how you see the world. But that is a conversation between you and your therapist. So, down to business. I'm here because we are at war.
Yes,
Not me and
with the
you.
Draconids, I'm aware.
No, the Draconids, that might have sorted itself out. They're currently in talks. Hopefully they have gone well. We helped them nudge it along. No, we are at war, as in the entire Expanse is at war with an entity that everyone I've spoken to will claim that I'm crazy for talking about.
Most
But
convenient.
I know,
What's your past
but I
perception,
know-
Barrows?
Oh shit. Shit,
Okay.
like fucking 11.
He's
You
never
don't notice
noticed
anything.
anything in his life, and he's not planning on starting now.
That's fine.
He's
Continue.
too involved in his revolt.
Yeah.
But I know, despite our differences, despite that we will never see eye to eye because you live in your world and I live in mine, but there is something going on that we cannot see. You've noticed it, you've seen it. It's probably some field report that doesn't make any sense. A ship attacked by an unknown entity, entire fucking planets being massacred, and no one there to report it or understand what's happened. And at first, you'll just assume it's just some clerical error or someone fucked up. Because that's who you are, you know? Everyone underneath you is idiots, and everyone above you doesn't know what they're talking about. But I think deep down, you're curious. You want to know what's going on. You're a man driven by passion and promotion. You wouldn't be the commander of OSEC if your rank didn't mean anything to you.
Ross, make me a initial persuasion check at disadvantage just to see how you're able to hold your grandfather's attention here.
Okay. Disadvantage persuasion.
Yeah, he does not hold you in high regard.
21.
Nice. You see he like engages with you, and then you see he like dismisses something on his hollow strap, and you see he lifts his hands off the weapons and kind of like lets them hang by his sides. So it's like still very easily within reach, but he's no longer like actively like about to draw on you potentially.
Yeah. You have a very long list of crimes that I've committed that you will only ever judge me for. And I've done them. I've done them all, and I'm much worse. There's plenty of crimes on there on that list that I've done. But I've not done them because I want to hurt people or that I live for credits. Maybe a long time ago. Maybe when I was chasing my mother and was a part of that pirate crew. But I was a boy. Didn't know any better. And I was so full of hate. For you, for my mom, at the universe. We all make mistakes, right? I can't imagine even at your old age you've lived a perfect life and you've never got into trouble. You can hate me. You can even damn me. But don't you dare ignore me.
Make me another persuasion check, Barros. Flat roll this time.
21.
I have never ignored you, Darkhoof. I always worried the day you would rear your little head off that rock, come looking for your mother. Try to fill her head with the same lies and gobbledygook that your father did to her that time ago when he swayed her and persuaded her. I was always worried you might have some edge, something to draw her back. In my heart of hearts, I cared not for you or any of your family. I care for mine, my daughter. This thing that you have is an unfortunate circumstance. You are not to blame. However, you do have an ability to make things bad again for my daughter. She had a great life here before, and she has it again now. Not slumming it in some little wooden shack with a man who, if she does not do as he says, could cut her food supply off with no means to get home, no means to go to safety, tricking her into thinking that he's doing it for her own good, for his own selfish greed. I've seen it happen before many times, on many battlefields, on many war-torn planets. Just because one was on a civilized planet does not mean that the inhibitions and desires of the basehood that is male are so facetious and predictable across all things. You are a product of this. For that of you, I am truly sorry. I was going to let Bella re-institutionalize herself here. Make her own decisions. I figured at some point you would come looking for her, but I had hoped at that point that individual who did what he did to my daughter would no longer be walking or breathing in this very universe that we find ourselves in. But you may count yourself lucky. Because I came here fully intending to put a bullet in between your eyeballs. Unfortunately, I am not the highest ranking individual on this ship. This is not my amalgamate. This is not my Omphalos. And someone out there, whoever the fuck it is, clearly is looking out for you. And you see he looks back down his holostrap, and you see on his holostrap there's an image of you, and it says above it in common, Mass APB, please identify and detain this individual for immediate questioning. Bring to OSEC dock as soon as possible. Signed off, Admiral Hopkins, with a warrant of arrest from the Amalgamate Council. He goes, looks like someone wants to talk to you. Someone who calls the shots that I have to follow. Count yourself lucky, Darkhoof.
Get absolutely fucked, Barros's granddad.
First of all, you'll be glad to know that me coming here and me speaking to my mother has nothing to do with her. You can even ask her. I have no intention of begging her to come back. She's made it very clear that her will is not her own. And that is fine. Because that is how it is. It's been like that for the past 10 years. I am not here to change it. I simply used her to talk to you. Because what I have to say is far more important than any feud I have with a grouchy old man who despises the blood of the daughter of his own daughter's love. And that you have so much despair and hate in your heart that you cannot see that you have become the very thing that you swore to destroy. You are a hypocrite, you are old, and I hope that you never find happiness.
Make me one final persuasion check, Barros. From your soapbox.
29.
You see... actually, I will let him roll for this.
Do you see? Probably not.
I see through the lies of the Jedi!
What's your passive insight, Barros?
Passive insight. 11.
So you do see, because he rolls an 11, a natural 10 plus 1. Your grandfather's not a very charismatic man. You see that your words strike a nerve. Whether they cut deep or resonate, it's hard to tell. But you definitely see there is that little moment of, like, I can't believe you just did that or said that or whatever exactly it is. It's hard to place exactly the moment, but you know that in this moment you have not been ignored. You have not simply been dismissed and buried away as some distant non-problem or something to worry about in the future. In this exact moment, everything you have said has resonated through this individual standing before you, and you are a fighter as much as he is. There is that reflection of men who have seen combat, have seen battle, who have been through hardship and have likely made snap impromptu decisions, whether it be to run down the chain of a ballistae that is embedded in the side of a ship for the good of defending their own friends, or to point the gun at the back of a commander who once wronged them or upset them and take their life in a way to mistake them, or to mutiny a ship, or to whatever the blur of war and combat does to a person's psyche and mind, where it does not make it want to play by the rules of society anymore. You see that if not for this command on his wrist, your grandfather right now likely would have leaned into his emotions and leaned into it, but he's doing a remarkable job of restraining himself. He simply turns back towards the lift, presses the button once more, and summons it back. Well, at least I get the honor of placing you under arrest. Unfortunately, not for all the crimes you have committed, but because you are not in the place where you are needed by people who can tell me what to do. Do not think this means you get away with everything. Nothing is yet decided for you. Darkhoof.
I will face my day in court for the crimes I have committed against those over the past 10 years. I do not admit that I am a good man. But everything I have done has been for those around me. I will turn to my mother.
You see, she's just like there, like she's barely able to keep standing. Tears kind of like have begun to like well up in her eyes, but she's not letting them fall as she fights and holds on to that like final little hope of pride or whatever semblance of whatever emotion she's currently clinging to stop that from happening.
I have not known you longer than I have known you. But one day, I hope that, whether it be through love or simply because he has given up, that you get the freedom that you deserve and that we can find each other again. And until then, just know that I forgive you.
She like cracks a little smile and like a tear rolls down her eye that escapes her grasp, and she goes, wait, before you go, hang on. And she runs off into your side room, and you hear like the sort of like a drawer opening and a few things thrown a sort of round, and eventually she comes back out, and she comes up to you and she places something in the palm of your hand and closes your fingers tight around it.
I won't look at it. I'll just slip it into like a breast pocket.
Yep.
I will then walk up to my grandfather, hands out.
Yep.
I bet you've been waiting a long time to do this.
You have no idea. And he takes the I can't remember the name. I think it is like Duranthium shackles, so like these magical shackles, something being able to teleport out of them. He clips them onto your wrists, and he grabs the center and he drags you into the lift of him. You see he turns around and goes like, Bella, I'm glad you're okay. I'll see you soon. And you see he's like, you don't have to do this. I'm only following orders. For his sake. And then he presses the button and the doors close, and you begin to descend down. Volgir.
This is where Volgir just snipes him on the way out.
Volgir, with your passive perception, Durv has not noticed it with his, but Volgir, you notice that a few guards who were posted up begin checking their holostraps as if they got some new orders, and they begin to they reconvene, a couple of them. There's a little discussion. And one of them kind of looks up, like scanning, and like does a little double take at you, and then like goes back, and then like they begin to huddle, and then you see like someone like gives a whistle, and a few more guards kind of come around, and then you like see that they all begin to head off, heading like out and away. They're like heading somewhere else. It's your turn.
I'm really confused now. Could I have incited his reaction?
Sure.
To doing the double take?
Yeah. Do you have the observant feat at all, or anything that might allow you to read lips?
Don't think so.
Okay, you won't be able to see what they're talking about from afar, but
Just double check. I've only got the other feet, so. Yeah. Don't know how well that's going to work. It's a 10 for an insight.
a 10. It's clear that something broke their attention. He like made eye contact with you. But then, you know, made eye contact with you probably just as long as he made eye contact with Durov, who was next to you. But you felt there was something there in the moment that it was worth noting down that they'd spotted you or acknowledging you were there. You don't know.
I will message Days.
Yep.
Because Days is with the other two, isn't she?
Yep.
Am I using spell slots for this, by the way?
If you're casting Ascending, you have to use a second level spell slot Descending afar, because a message is free because it's a cantrip, but you have to even 120 foot. So if you think Daze is further than 120 foot away, which he likely is,
Yeah, I'll use the first level on it. Just is it first level or is it
second level, I believe, for Sending.
I don't know. I'm just using the holostrap one.
I will double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a second level.
I think you need to use Sending to amplify the holostrap.
Yeah, the holostrap lets you cast Sending at a lower level than third.
So this second.
So you can send a long distance message by sending a level 2 spell slot.
Yeah, so I'll use a level 2 because.
Sure. There is with all holotrap messages, because you're in the same world, there is still a 25% chance to fail. That's the trade-off for it being a cheaper cost. So just make roll me a D100. You want to roll a 26 or higher.
55.
Is there an attachment you can get that will allow you to send one message for the holostrap? Because Cyrus doesn't have any spell slots.
Yeah, there's probably a little add-on that allows you has basically a level 2 spell slot embedded in it, so then you can then send it.
You gotta use a rage instead.
We
You gotta get so angry at the hollow strap that it goes further.
Just a spell storage slot or some sort
Yeah,
of crystal or
I'd say something like that definitely exists. That would make sense.
I can't drink one of my ginger ales because someone spunked on it. Look, it's like sealed shut with like weird glue.
Okay, it's the glue they use to package it. No one has spunked on your ginger ale.
Spunked on my ginger ale.
What was your D100 roll?
It's a 55.
So yeah, it goes through. What do you want to say to Daze?
Say to Dave, group of guards that were at the diplomacy building have just run off in one thing. Is there a word limit on this?
Yes.
25.
Oh, okay.
Group of guards at the diplomacy building have just run off to one thing.
Is there a word limit on
Is there a word limit on
this?
this? So it's 13. I'm saying right now.
Lots of coughing in the middle. Made eye contact, possibly caught, beware.
You got 6 more.
We'll keep an eye on barrels.
Perfect. Yeah. There is a little pause, and then you hear Dave's reply. Volgir. Sorry, we don't talk much. Yes. Call out on all crew. We are going back to OSEC. Better to go willingly than make a big fuss.
And that's why it's good that we got arrested first, because,
We always make a fuss.
Volgir, at this point, as you, let me just roll dice. You got a pass protection of 16, so you do see it coming. The group of guards who went off, Volgir, they seem to have gone around the block because you hear one of the little like chefs in the cafe. You're like, "You're not supposed to be in here. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Get yourself! Get in the fucking ground!" And you hear like people like whispering like kind of back and forth.
I'll just say to Dev, I'll just be like mid. Have you got any threes? By the way, we're about to get arrested. Just play it casually. Just keep playing. I want to see how long we can play before they fully arrest us.
Durf, you see his like eyes widen, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to be arrested, Volgir. No, I don't have any trees. Go fish."
Damn it. Your turn.
Also, Volgir is really giving into this bit of appear gay. He's been on like a day date with Durv this whole time. Coffee date.
And yeah,
break off the
Like we were discussing, the only way to escape Jessa is to become gay.
the door to the kitchen opens, and you hear Volgir from maybe about 15 foot behind you. All right, if you want to come peacefully, this will be a lot easier. I'm looking for a Volgir Drake bow and a Dulv Lythe, who unfortunately you both didn't fit the description of. And then Dulv's like, Sparks, run for it! And the little like robot like scarpers off, and you want to go like, hey, stop that robot! Ping! They like fire a shot. They miss, goes wide when like Sparks disappears
Got a
off.
man on the outside.
And Daryl's like, damn, meant to fix that. He like, runs away when it's scared.
I just like just hand in head, just like crying out loud. Yeah, if you're gonna try and arrest us, maybe don't be so loud about it next time.
Kind of like look at you, narrow their eyes. Look, I'm not asking you to tell me how to do my job. Look, are you coming peacefully or do we need to apprehend you?
I mean, I'm just playing cards at the moment. Sure.
Okay. Right, pack up your cards, pack up your things. Do you need to pay a bill?
No.
You're already getting arrested. Just walk out on the bill.
I'll leave 5 gold on the table.
Yeah, you leave a golden table. Your waitress is like over the moon. It's like an incredible. It's like someone just left her like a £500 tip.
Tell everyone this story constantly.
These guys got arrested. This gay, cute couple got arrested, and then they left.
Gay couple came in. They ordered a couple coffees, sat and played cards for like 10 minutes, got arrested, and left me a massive tip.
They must have been like drug dealers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, could you imagine the, and then they were just sitting there so peacefully, and then they came and disrupted their Go Fish game that they've been peacefully playing for 30 minutes straight, and I've never seen one of them lose.
Yep. But yeah, you are escorted by the group of guards back up towards OSEC. Eventually, you all find yourselves back in the same holding cell that you had in the first place. The first to join the room is Beros. Then shortly after that, Volgir and Durov, who all are, much the same. Then finally, the trio, Diz, Serparna, and Jessa. Diz is like kind of just dressed in her usual attire, nothing real different there. Jessa as well, mostly the same stuff. However, Jessa does have like these big red like blush marks on her feathers, where someone has clearly been applying makeup to her.
I was kind of just expecting
she's
Jessa
got like
to show up with like a stack of books.
She's got like
and all of the books are like How to Romance Dwarves for Dummies.
She's got like big like eyeliner painted around the edges of her big oil eyes. Serparna, kind of, whenever you see her, she is wearing a lot more comfy clothing. She's given Days back her original attire. She's wearing like a baggy kind of like loose-fitting shirt, a little like waistcoat that kind of like falls kind of just about her body, cinched up tightly at her waist, and she wears these really tight leather pants and these big leather boots as well.
Do you think the tight leather pants were Days going, no, you cannot wear sweatpants outside? Put these on.
This is like, I draw the line at baggy pants. You have to wear these. You have the body for it. Wear these.
Based on
as Beros comes in, as Beros first comes in, Atlas is gonna like lean against the wall and be like, "So you come here often?"
Is that an innuendo, or if it's an innuendo, no. If it's not an innuendo, this is the second time I've been here.
Worth a try. So how did everyone's freedom go? Beros reconciled with your grandfather? Volgear,
he fucking hates
you're gay
me.
now?
I think I pissed him off more.
You got here a lot later than I expected you to be fair. I was expecting
Seems
you
to
to
feel
land
it's
like
mutual
5
then,
minutes
is it?
after you left.
Yeah, because like he came in, looked at his hollow strap, and then left. I had a sarcastic quip I'd been working on, didn't even manage to get it out.
Yeah, so I went to speak to my mum, and apparently it sent my granddad into meltdown, and he sent like a few OSEC teams there.
Nice.
And then we had a chat. I basically called him a dick for like 20 minutes, and then turns out he can't shoot me on the spot because we've got a meeting with the council. So.
Oh yeah, we met the representative of the Fae. I kind of said some of our party might need
Maestro
assistance.
Melodious.
He is so hot.
Yeah, he said arch.
Like, kind of annoyingly hot though, where like someone's almost too good looking.
I feel like he would have melted into biscuit crumbs.
He wears pants.
He does wear pants.
He's like my cousin, but like distant, like great cousin.
That won't stop you. Don't you lie.
He wouldn't stop at first cousin, I don't think, Barros.
Astra has being locked up in prison given you some kind of weird, like, belly of the beast urge yet, or are we still waiting for that to happen?
Sorry, what?
Nothing.
Astra is still Astra.
Okay, well, you know, I figured maybe something would happen.
Daze's dad got us out for like a little day trip. We went and talked to that guy, and now he set us up a meeting with the council. So,
Oh yeah.
thanks,
for that.
Daze's dad, I
so
guess.
I was going
Also,
to try
he
and
was like
convince my
weirdly
granddad.
staring at me, and Astra did not love that.
Oh. Yeah, I know why. Just before we got in the lift, I told him that thanks for locking my girlfriend up, so I guess he's trying to suss you two out.
We should tell him that it's me, and then when it turns out to be you, he'll be so relieved he won't even care about the prison thing.
I think he might have figured it out. I don't know. He said we answered a question for him. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
Do
how
you
we
have
answered
some chairs in your house that are shorter than other chairs? Because it took him like a solid 5 minutes to climb onto a chair, and it was kind of adorable, but also like a little bit sad.
Kind of weird. Normally he just, like, jumps up.
Maybe he's gotten.
We're bunny folk. Like, hang on, let me just... And Daze just does a backflip.
Cyrus and Atlas just lock eyes for like a solid second.
He looks at me.
Like Daze just does a backflip, like, just, like, without even much effort. She just, like, does a backflip standing and, like, lands. It's like, we are, like, really springy. Like, I can jump, like, a good
On
15 foot in the air.
On a completely unrelated note, Saparna, if someone had an intellect devourer in their head, could you, like, tell?
Time to roll an intelligence check for Daze as you actively talk
A
about
completely
this
unrelated
in
note.
front of her.
Maybe it's just maybe.
This is part of those celestials.
Completely unrelated. Completely unrelated to what I was just talking about.
Okay, Daze is going to get an insight check. Not super insightful. Well, 5. Yeah, Daze goes over Daze's head. That's good. Saparna.
Maybe he just has an injury or something.
Yeah, I mean, he was hurt. Like, I guess back whenever that like attack happens. So maybe it's just a side effect or something. Maybe he just, you know, isn't as agile as he used to be.
I also love that even in like a Discord format, when that happened, me and Ryan still made eye contact.
As soon as
she's out, she's not like.
As soon as me and you just like knew, we knew.
Astra's trying to be purposely oblivious. She's suspect, but just like, nope. No.
Wrong save. It's better. So it would have been a 22 would have been. You're asking if I could detect an intellect devourer?
Can you
Yes.
sense them?
Like if it was, you know, like hiding in someone. You know, if they'd like infiltrated somewhere, would you know?
What, like a sleeper cell?
Don't remember the terminals that Volgear and Barros said that the Illithid would make it here. We just want to make sure that nobody
Has been elicited Right?
Yeah, like, what if they have, like, insiders on the council or
suspicious
something?
of everyone.
Well, not if Saparna can tell who they are. Or if there's a way to tell who they are, like
So
a spell or a.
if you're worried,
You could be. You disappeared for a while. Who knows what happened?
Eros,
with that
I know
today?
one of your favorite biscuit brands is called Intellect, but that's not the same thing.
if you're worried
Really
that
nice. They've got like jam in the middle.
if you are worried,
Explains a lot.
if you're worried that someone may have an intellect devourer in them, you can magically force an intellect devourer out of a host body. A simple protection from evil and good spell would be enough to force it out. However, that's not enough to return the host's brain back. Intellect devourers consume the brain magically and teleport into its place. They get the memories, they take full control of the body. They also have they're fully protected from attacks and other effects from outside the body itself. They effectively become the brain in that regard. But if their body is killed, they can leave separately. They don't have to. They may play dead for a bit, I suppose, but they can leave just by simply teleporting back out again.
I don't suppose you have that prepared, Astra.
No.
Yeah, me either.
No, I could slate and prepare it, but
Yeah, me too.
it depends how long we're in here for. Like, maybe we can get a sleep.
I mean, this place is fully bureaucratic.
It might be 8 hours before a meeting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, wasn't that the problem with your parents? Was like they had to wait ages and ages to actually see anyone.
It took us like 6 months just to set up the paperwork to get me that meeting that I didn't go to because everything else. I thought I wasn't supposed to say it. Why are you allowed to say it?
I was just doing the bit because this is the time that you would usually say terrorism.
Oh, vulgar! I don't think we would be able to do the gravity thing again.
Why is that?
They've upped their security since last time.
Well, there was also a chimera stampeding through the amalgamate as well, so I think it makes sense that they would have more boots on the ground.
Yeah, but I bet that happens all the time. Like, wild animal gets out, kills a few people.
Gets possessed by a devil, kills some more people.
Exactly. There's a lot of exotic animals that are brought through here through trade.
It's true, I had to fill out his paperwork.
I don't like the way that you looked at me as though that was my fault.
It was your fault.
It wasn't my fault.
You left the skull unattended.
It was at least
in a different room from the chimera. It's not my fault the chimera got into the other room.
It was at least half your fault, okay? I'll take half the responsibility, but at least half of that chaos is your fault.
It's an intelligent chimera. What?
Okay, I'm gonna say it's at least 60-40 to you because you made the chimera smart.
No, 60-40 to you because Tewa wouldn't have gone on that mad rampage if he hadn't had the skull on his head. He would have just hung it in the hotel room and, hoarded everything.
But the skull wouldn't do anything.
You could have left the skull on the ship.
You don't know that. It could have fucking possessed a housekeeper and they could have gone on a murderous rampage.
When I left the skull behind in a bar, it possessed Volgir's statue. Do you really want an intelligent skull that could, supplement the AI like Saparna did, left alone on our ship, where it has guns?
Hold on, whoa, Cyrus, you're talking about the statue back on Tilm, right?
Yes.
Well, you guys are talking about that tavern. Oh, what was the name of it? It was the one on the corner, right? You guys are staying?
Donkey or something.
Yeah. No, it rings a bell.
It'd be a lot easier if I had my book.
Go ask for your book if you want. Oh. That kind of place, huh? No. Cyrus, that inn you guys are staying in, the something and the donkey's bit, the donkey's
tail.
No, it was like the bit and harness or
Bitten harness does.
Oh, the bit and bridle.
The bit and bridle, yeah, that's it. That thing's fucking haunted, man. There's
Like
like
what?
ghosts of like dead elves in there, like the old owner and stuff. Like there's ghosts in there.
No. But whenever I left the skull behind and we did some of the bad stuff, and then came back, the statue was moving around and it carved into the door, left me behind. So I left the skull behind it. It left behind.
Maybe. I just know there's a lot of creepy shit that happens in there. People hear voices and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. It rings a bell. There's something about that place. Not all kosher.
Well, luckily now it's probably covered in gross squid stuff. So
And more ghosts.
yeah.
I think it was burning down.
Burn down?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably more
Didn't
ghosts.
half the city burn down? Didn't they like do that on purpose?
Yeah,
They tried to flush us out with fire.
Yeah, that was wild. God, remember when our problems were simple, like the entire city trying to flush us out by setting fire to their own city?
And stealing a little piece of Saparna from an elf who wanted to go to space because something told her to.
I miss when our
Devour,
I miss when our problems were simple, like, you know, staging a coup. The good old days.
Eventually, you hear the door open.
But hey, look how many bits of Saparna we got now. She got all her
Got a whole
bits.
Saparna.
You once again see the short form of Admiral Hopkins. Looks like his uniform has been pressed since you last saw him. It is all neat and tidy. As he like
I
stands
don't
away.
have the spell to prove it, but I'm suspicious.
You guys ready to all go?
Are we doing it? Are we doing it now or?
I don't have it on me now. Oh, you mean the meeting? Are we doing the meeting now?
Yeah, we gotta move up for you all to get you out of the holding cell as quick as possible. Before you go, does anyone need to go get anything from the ship? I've got the bodies set aside in that jar. We've got currently got a loading crew that cargo team. They're basically taking out that strange pod thing that Cyrus talked about and loading it up into a shuttle. They're gonna bring it down.
I think that's everything we needed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we should be good to go. Let's get the lift down.
We don't want to take the Brian. We said we would leave the Brian.
No, we're taking the brain.
Oh, we're taking the Brian as well. Okay.
Why would we leave the brain?
We're taking everything. We're telling them everything.
There was no brain in there. There's a lot of mush and
The mush used to be a brain.
okay. It doesn't look like a brain. It looked
Well-
kind of like a milkshake you left out in the sun.
Well, that's what happens when a changeling climbs out of a brain.
That's what happens whenever a illithid a Brian dies. It decomposes. Nothing to do with changelings.
I'm aware of how decomposition works when something dies. You know, just
You're aware how brains work?
I suppose. I'm not a deal bunch of brains, to be honest. Why you look at me like that?
Nothing.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's rumble.
It's been a weird day.
Cyrus,
Yes, Astra.
if you had cancer or something, would you be aware that you had the cancer before any symptoms showed up?
Whoa, Cyrus has cancer?
going?
Holy shit!
Hang on, no.
Got
heavy as fuck.
You didn't tell me?
What kind of cancer? Is it treatable?
Celestial talk. Are you trying to defend your girlfriend's dad because he may have a brain
I'm saying
monster in
you
his
might
brain?
not have a clue about it.
So what? If we talk about it, we'll activate him?
No, I'm saying if you talk about it and try to slip him up, he won't know, and he won't know.
He won't know anyway. He's got a brain in his brain. A different brain in his... A thing that's replaced his brain. He doesn't have a brain.
Are you guys doing this in
Those two
Celestial?
seem to be having quite the heated conversation.
Atlas will turn to everyone else and be like, honestly, I speak Celestial and I'm not sure, so...
I also speak the celestial languages, and these two talking gibbledygob.
No, Gibble.
That's celestial for nonsense.
I thought it was a dialect. Like Pig Latin.
Also, why have you made everybody think I have cancer?
If anyone's curious, my translation is a little bit skew-if, but I'm pretty sure Cyrus is admitted to having cancer of the ball.
You have
Singular.
ball
He's
cancer?
the way he phrased it was a singular ball cancer. Not both.
I mean, I can cut it off.
The right one or
I-
the
I'm
left one?
I do not need my balls amputated. I do not have ball cancer.
Are you
I do not
positive?
have any cancer.
He doesn't
mean,
have cancer, he's just an idiot. Let's go.
I've done a castration before. I could do it again.
No.
I mean,
Stay away from my balls, Beros.
It would be to save your life. It's what
he
girls
just
do.
wants to,
No.
he has to keep them as memorabilia.
The closest you will get to my balls is wearing my pants.
What if we got you like synthetic balls, like my lungs?
No. No.
Yeah, I'm in favor of Beros not taking Cyrus's balls. A, because that sounds like a bad idea, and B, because Beros will wear them like earrings, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
I don't wanna
feel
see that.
I don't want to.
You've ruined my whole plan. What the fuck?
No.
Oh,
You're
so
very
it'll only be
predictable.
one
We
earring.
stick them to the back of the ship like truck nuts.
No.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Please, can we go?
You see Daz's dad just there, like one hand over his face.
He's like, I'm still not
Rubbing his
100%
eye.
who my daughter's dating in this group, and I don't want it to be any of them.
The saviors of the Expanse, ladies
Master
and
Pointer
gentlemen.
Jay's like, I'm sorry,
the
mate. Bit of a
saviors of the
disappointment to your father.
It does give the
fine.
same vibe as like when the Talons got big, and it was like, the saviors of our realm, and then they would meet us and be like, oh god.
I think that like the rest of you kind of will trickle out, and Daz like holds Asher back a little bit longer. So that her dad is a little bit more out of earshot, and she kind of like pulls you back a few steps. She was like, "It's fine. I'm not dating him. I'm dating you for him. I'm dating you for me. So I don't."
Dating you for him? Jesus.
Okay. Good.
She went on to the
Let's go
Expanse, and
get
her dad was like,
arrested
you
again."
better go fucking ASMR.
Yeah, you head to the lift. You descend down towards the amalgamate level. I'm not sure if any of you have been to this level before, but stepping off the lift itself, this level is twice the height of every other level you've been on. The actual void here is so much bigger. The buildings tower high, but they do not touch the ceiling like the other ones do. And as the actual, like, you get a proper good look from this little, like, glass kind of like viewing platform near the lift, this little waiting area that you're in. There are signs off different diplomatic suites that kind of like run all the way along this beautiful, serene, artificial green garden with these big lakes. There's a great big statue of all of the different races of the amalgamate kind of all working together. They are all like around what looks like an arcane engine. They've all got different tools and equipment, and they're all working on it together, like all like side by side. You see there is a like little like plaque kind of nearby, like giving a bit of information on it if anyone to go read the plaque of this big fountain. And like it's part of the fountain itself. It's the central display of the fountain. There is a long run. This huge, big, like hole that stretches the length of the level itself, and the walls are lined with plaques the whole way along. It's called Memorial Hall. There's also the Cultural Exchange Center, which seems to be another museum-like building, kind of similar to the one you saw down in the embassy level. However, this one seems to be focusing more on races included fully in the amalgamate. And then along the actual beautiful, like, you know, lakefronts of that, there's the actual diplomatic suites. But towering over everything in the center of the amalgamate level, there is this beautiful big discus that kind of like hovers, like suspended perfectly in the point where the gravity meets. If you recall on the eye, because of the way it is a sphere, the gravity actually stops and starts in the center, and as you travel beyond the amalgamate level, the actual gravity flips on yourself. A process which the lifts handle excellently by rotating, so you barely even notice it. But here it becomes very apparent because you can see there are people walking on the ceiling and people walking on the floor far above you, several stories up. You're talking like 20 plus stories up. They're up there walking along the ceiling. It just seems like little ants walking along. The central discus in the middle is the chamber, the main area for political discussion, where the members of the Amalgamate's representatives sit and likely plan and discuss whatever it is there is to do or see. You step off the lift, Hopkins and the small crew, and the people escorting you now are probably closer in the number with all of your crew present. You've probably got an escort of about 20 plus people, kind of bringing you along, all armed, transporting you along. You have none of your weapons or other offensive belongings of that nature, and they begin taking you down past the fountain towards this floating chamber.
Cyrus will probably glance black as they're walking past the fountain.
Sure. You have a little skim, Cyrus. It's written in common. You see that it reads, in memory of all the humans, elves, goblinoids, fae, thrycreen, dwarves, ganassi, gif, and gif, who fought themselves, who gave everything for us to be here now.
Yeah, that was definitely built by a lizard.
And then you see, as you're walking by, Cyrus, looking that way, you see a little terminal, and you see there's a little small mechanical round individual with these little small wings, and they're they've got a little panel off, and they're fixing this little panel, this little module on, working away, and it just turns, just looks at you.
Keep walking.
It's a Modron, they're chill.
And it goes back.
They're also illithid made.
Another one flies past Atlas.
His
head follows it.
You head towards the central area of the amalgamate level. You see a shuttle coast down. They collect you to take you up to the actual chamber itself. Looks like the only way up is via shuttle. And they kind of give a little nod. You all step aboard, and they transport you up there. Whenever we next pick up, we are going to be in the chamber of the amalgamate. As you all step through the doors here, the walls are metal, but the floor and ceiling are glass. The chamber is set just on the threshold of the gravitational pull of this place. The level you walk on is just making it comfortable to be the level. The roof itself, likely if you could find a way to jump onto it, you might even stick to the gravitational pull up there. However, the way everything is built, it seems like it is only ever intended that one side is to be actually utilized and used. The chamber that you find yourselves in, there's a large, semicircular table with a single podium facing it, where you are all pitched up to plead your strange case or present whatever evidence you have. To your left, there is a few tarps covering some bodies. There is a strange pod, and there is a large wet garbage bag full of probably some brain gunk from some long once god, deity, whatever the fuck it might have been. Sitting around the table, you see a dwarf, a dwarven ambassador, Thrain Stonehammer. This big, bushy, black beard, bald of head, inquisitive-looking eye. Next to him, you see a graceful dark elf of Kemnor. You see Liriana Moonshadow. her beautiful plunge dress, silver white kind of like color and pigmentation through it. Next to her, you see Emissary Pyra Emberstorm, a Gnyasi, a flyer Gnyasi, who is kind of pitched there. Her like short, like flaming, like locks, kind of like lapping at her cheeks and like kind of like wisping off the top of her head. And she wears this beautiful orange like vest. There is Commodore Grizzlebeard Thunderhoof, the GIF representative, this big hippo man. He has 2 monocles, one on each eye, which would make a lot more sense to wear
just
glasses.
Get glasses.
However, he seems to wear monocles. One monocle prescription seems to be a lot more severe than the other if they are not opposite prescriptions in general. One for short and one for long distance. Amplifying one of his eyes to look very, very big and the other to look very, very small. The Gith representative, you see Grand Arbiter Zarakesh, a Gith Yankee who has this like beautiful ornate silver sword on her back, wears this like very prim and proper like show armor decorated with rubies and trinkets. You see a goblinoid representative, Chief Negotiator Snaggletooth Sharpwit, a little small goblinoid man. He wears almost like slightly tribal looking attire and clothing, and sat sharing his space you see Maestro Melodius, your kind of like representative for this meeting. They are also sharing a space with a half-elf, Ambassador Elara Swiftend, a little half-elf woman who seems to be quite literally bridging a gap, because next to her is Ambassador Seraphina Lightweaver, a human woman who has this like very like straight edge suit that they wear. After that, you see there is a green grey skinned individual with large tusks poking up from the bottom of their lip in this big underbite. You see the orc representative, Chieftain Kino Traklao, even more tribal attire than Snaggletooth. Almost looks the most barbaric of everyone on this board itself. You also see the Thrycreen representative, Ambassador Zylok Swiftclick, a Thrycreen who looks like basically a giant like praying mantis. He has these like beautiful like green carapace. However, sat totally central is a individual who does not seem to have any bow or weight in the council. However, they are taking up a seat which looks like it has no name or no label on it, but you see actually sat there is someone that you all recognize. This woman is very, very fat. She has long, flowing auburn hair that reaches down to her waist, and her brown eyes dart back and forth to all of you.
It's quite a woman.
You see she wears many layers of clothing, and you see that although her like she can't really make any proper eye contact with you, you see Chancellor of Olinareth, Althea Wasanthi, and she speaks up. Well, it is quite good to know that you have all come back together again with a few others. I was called because I have some experience that might lend itself well to this endeavor. And as the meeting begins, that is where we are going to stop for tonight. Until next time, bye-bye. And we're